Hi, good evening. Welcome to Captive Audience. I'm Sunny Danforth coming to you from Florida, the sunshine state of Florida. And well, everybody, last night was a surprise, sort of. With Israel sending bombing areas of Iran. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, tonight, Iran is sending salvos back. And some have unfortunately penetrated Israel. It's to be expected. Now, I say it's a surprise, but yet sort of. And the reason I say that is because Trump, 60 yesterday, he said 61 days ago. I think it was yesterday he said that 61 days ago, he had asked Iran to come to the table and negotiate over the nuclear, them wanting to develop nuclear weapons and weapon grade or nuclear weapon grade uranium. And they never came to the table. He even said, we might be getting closer to them coming to the table, but they never came to the table. And on the 61st day of them not coming to the table, then Israel took action. And this is nothing new. This is what they've been talking about, that Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. And so Israel said, we're taking care of this, because Iran has said it will be death to Israel. And they're very close, relatively speaking. So, and also, before this started last night, I had read, I don't remember, probably on X, that they were saying areas were going to be evacuated. And I thought, oh, something's going to happen. And Trump had said, certain areas, and I don't actually remember exactly what he said. I just remember putting it in the bank as going, oh, something's going to happen, because they're warning people, you need to evacuate. And Trump said, I watched him in a statement yesterday that he had. I watched the video actually of him signing 3 bills, and in there he goes, I cannot not warn American citizens. And so he did, of course, without giving way. He knew about the strikes that were coming. He has now said so. And so when you're paying attention to what's being said, you see, you just see the results, right? You're aware that, something's coming. And truthfully, Iran has been, what I've certainly gleaned from the news, various sources. We know that they have been enriching uranium. We know it. We know that, in fact, that was all allowed under Obama. And, we've got a deal. And they've never lived up to the deal. And in fact, it was yesterday that the UN said they are cheating on their uranium enrichment program. They're cheating. And boom, Israel just launched salvos. They didn't make that decision overnight. This is something that Israel obviously planned for. And also, Bibi Netanyahu said, we are not at war with the people of Iran. This is against a regime. This is against a regime that truly hates America, hates the West, hates Israel, and It needs to happen because they didn't come to the table. Maybe they'll come to the table now, maybe not. I highly doubt it. I think there must be more destruction, and then maybe the timing is good for the people to actually, of Iran, to stand up and fight for their country and take it back from the regime. I don't know. I don't believe that this is, and I can be wrong, but I don't believe that this is purposeful to help with a regime change. But I've been hearing for quite a while and reading about there are people in Iran that have been groups and people that want the change. That people are actually, I saw somebody had written in English. It's the picture that I saw on X said that this was in Iran somewhere. And they said, "We support the people of Israel." So they are not happy with the way things are in their country. And so we're going to have to see how this plays out. Israel's not finished. Iran is not finished. But, you know, the all of the skirmishes that have been coming out of that area in Gaza and the Hamas and in the area has all been funded by Iran. And of course, Biden helped to enrich them financially, much like Obama did as well. You know, things, that's when we started having a lot more issues, especially was under Obama. I mean, we had issues even before. He didn't start it, but he sure helped it along. I believe he's pretty friendly to the Islamists that are the radicals, because there are radicals and there are other that are not radical. From things that I've read, things that I've observed. So, wow, it's heating up. It's heating up over there. And our president, President Trump, does not, at this point, wish to put troops over there at all. And we are, he says, not in this skirmish. But if American assets, and we have bases over in the region, if those are hit, I will say there will be retaliation. There will be an answer to that. And Iran has said they are going to hit U.S. assets. We're going to have to see. As of what I've seen today, I haven't seen that they have. We're going to have to see. Trump is asking them to come to the negotiating table and negotiate this, saying it's all about the nuclear. You're not getting enough enriched uranium to make a nuclear bomb, period. And truthfully, we need in my opinion, we need the world leaders to echo that sentiment and say, you know what? This isn't happening because this is a world problem. This isn't just Israel's problem. This is not the United States problem. This is a world problem when you have a regime that's like this, that is like being a bully. And so it's, you know, it's the world's problem. We don't really want to have, we're going to have to see what China does along with this. And we're also going to have to see, you know, how Russia handles with this. I don't know. We're going to all find out together. I can tell you that much for sure. Well, there is, and there's a lot. So Tel Aviv has been hit. in a retaliatory attack, that's no surprise. This morning I heard that there were four of Iran's top military commanders that were killed, but this story that is out of Epoch Times says that three were killed. Is it three? Is it four? I don't know, but we're going to be watching this as it unfolds. Well, this weekend, it's are we starting the summer of love here? But this weekend, you have no doubt heard about No Kings anti-Trump protest planned all over Oregon and Washington, especially Southwest. Now, I'm happy to say Seattle has already arrested some people. And so dozens of demonstrations are scheduled for Saturday. I want to put a link to this particular article that is coming out of OPB in there because it lists a lot of cities. And there's also a link to a map that is in this particular article. Let me find that. There we go. So it says that it's going to coincide with military parade in Washington, D.C., and which is the Army's birthday. They're saying, oh, it's to celebrate Trump's 79th birthday. No, actually, it's to honor the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army. And it's also Flag Day. And it does happen to be Trump's 79th birthday. So more than 1,500 protesters are scheduled nationwide. Are scheduled nationwide. The media is going to portray this that America's burning everywhere. It's not. And I doubt it will be. Some will get taken swift action, like here in Florida. If you're not blocking roads, they are not, all this stuff will get shut down. You can have a peaceful protest, okay, but you're not stopping traffic. You're not burning, you're not looting, and that type of thing. So that's refreshing to see because that's not how it is in Oregon. We have seen Portland burned time and time again, and it might very well happen again. So Portland protests are expected to begin as early as 9 a.m. on Saturday and take place at Westmoreland Park, the Oregon Convention Center, Salmon Street Springs, Tom McCall Waterfront Park. Traffic will likely be impacted throughout the day near the demonstrations, especially near downtown. And for me, I recommend staying away. I wouldn't go watch it. I wouldn't go be around it. I would not travel to an area anywhere that is planning on having one of these. What I do recommend is to, go have a barbecue. Watch our military parade on television. And if you're not there, watch it celebrate Army's birthday, 250 years. That's wonderful. And, have a barbecue. Be with family, be with friends, go outside. I wouldn't go do that. Let the people that want engagement, don't engage. They want engagement. And I say, just let them do their thing because they're frankly hurting the Democrat Party. They're investigating who's behind all the money of all of this. Just don't be associated with it. Don't get hurt because life's too short. Life's too short. Let the idiots show their hands and whatnot. And for the areas in the United States that they're going to get arrested, let them get arrested. And sadly, there's going to be areas that they're not going to get arrested in. And that's probably in Portland. If that happens, I would be very surprised. Now, three were arrested after lighting a fire outside yesterday, outside of the Portland Ice Building. And actually, they were arrested on Wednesday night and after in South Portland. Well, we've seen that building. We've seen the fires outside of it, trying to burn the building and whatnot. And so, yes, it's starting. It's to be expected, sadly, in Portland, that it will be allowed. Very, very sad. And Lars Larson says here in Oregon Catalyst, here's an article from Lars Larson. I'll post it in the comments. And he says that unfortunately, Portland aims to be riot ground zero again. Question mark, question mark. Does it? And this was from yesterday. And, you know, he talks about the last failed mayor of Portland actually welcomed the riots. Remember when the riots happened and Mayor Wheeler went out there and said, look, he wanted to negotiate with those people. They kicked his ass. They booed him. They went to his place and, you know, tried to burn him out of his own place. Oh, yeah. Poor Ted Wheeler, he was white as a sheet after that, going, oh, you can't talk to these people. No, these are paid agitators. Heck no, you are not. And now we have, as Lars says, the next failure in progress, Keith Wilson, and, you know, and see what happens. So he's not very hopeful that Mayor Keith Wilson will do any better. We're going to have to see. But frankly, for me, I would stay away from those areas and just not be around them, at all. Now, on this No Kings, there's several areas downtown. Also, they're going to be all in Vancouver on Saturday. That's Don, be careful over there. Protest, that's where he lives, is in Vancouver. And protests are planned at the waterfront and at Gretchen Fraser Neighborhood Park. There are also planned protests in Forest Grove, Hillsborough, Beaverton, Tigard, Newburgh, Canby, Oregon City, Clackamas, Gresham, Sandy, and Welches. And Janelle Bynum, the U.S. representative, is expected to appear at the Clackamas Town Center demonstration on Saturday. Of course she does. She's a Democrat, right? And across the state, they're going to have them in the Oregon coast, Gold Beach, from Gold Beach to Astoria, and central, southern, and northeast Oregon. And I will tell you, this is very coordinated. These people are paid. And I'm very happy that the FBI is actually investigating, looking into where the money is coming from. They are investigating the money trail. And if you're on X, you might have seen that, what's her name? It's, there's a gal who is doing fabulous investigative work. And she said, follow the money. Here, we've got all of this. Well, I'll tell you, it is coming out of China. It's quite possible it is Chinese influence behind all of this. So Kash Patel said the FBI is investigating any and all monetary connections responsible for these riots. Patel told the Epoch Times in response to rising concerns about possible Chinese influence behind the chaos. So yeah, and it's also one group that's backing the unrest is the Party for Socialism and Liberation, a communist political party linked to networks funded by pro-Beijing tech tycoon Neville Roy Singham. There you are. And we've have there's others. Manolo de los Santos, co-executive director of the People's Forum and a New York City resident, has praised China's COVID-19 pandemic policies, and that he is a close ally with the Party for Socialism and Liberation in the People's Forum, a Singham-funded organization based out of New York City and borough of Manhattan, and has advocated for the ruling Chinese regime cause. So here we have, is China funding all of this? Do we have Chinese doing this? Yeah. So I'm really happy that that the FBI is investigating. Marjorie, I see your question. Isn't it Oregon's birthday tomorrow? I don't know. If it is, I'm unaware. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. And yeah. So there's stuff going on. And for me, I would stay away. Stay away. You can watch it all on X. if you're on X and Truth Social. I'll tell you, I follow President Trump on Truth Social, and I just go look at what's he truthing, and you don't have to get it interpreted from any other source. You can go get it from our president directly. So we're going to have to see. So to those two groups that I mentioned have been cross-posting on X in solidarity with the rioters. Both have been calling for more protests in their respective locales. And I can tell you, I saw on X that before I came on tonight, that there was some group in Florida somewhere with a banner, and when the light turned red, then they went out in the street and inside the sidewalk. Okay, this is how you have to do it apparently in Oregon or Florida. And then when the light turned green, they got out of the middle of the street, because I can remember seeing protests in Florida, and the civilians and the police just drug them right out and put them on the curb and walked away. They said, no, we don't do that here. You're not blocking traffic. And so there you are. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Oregon's birthday is Valentine's Day, February 14th. So no, it is not. It is not Oregon's birthday, Marjorie. Thank you, Lori. Thank you very, very much. And so different states are going to have different rules. Texas, I'm sure, is not going to tolerate the nonsense. But just remember, the media sensationalizes things. They sensationalize the weather, showing you, oh my gosh. In fact, right when I said that, an image in my mind came. Here was a weather person in a canoe, and she's trying to look like she's rolling in the water, but yet the paddle is hitting the asphalt, so she can't stick it in the water very much. And then two guys walk right by her. She's in inches of water, just a few, and I'm talking like 5 inches of water. The media, the lamestream propaganda media, will sensationalize anything to get a click, to get you to look. I've seen it. I've seen it myself, especially with the weather. I've been in an area where there's a hurricane coming by, and they're just going, oh my gosh, hold on to a pole. And the wind is hardly blowing. They will do it, the very same tactics. I'm sorry, I keep touching my hair because this chair I'm sitting in is like pulling it. And you ever sit in one of those chairs that it just pulls your hair? Maybe men it doesn't happen to that have short hair, but for women that have a little longer hair, it's a little annoying. I'll change how I sit. Maybe that'll help. And so they're going to make it look worse than it is. But I'll tell you, we have seen plenty bad in Portland. And it was a lot of burning, just like the homeless camps. So just be careful. Don't fall for it. Stay safe. Go outside. Go have fun. Go for a hike. Let those losers do what they're doing. Don't feed it. Don't feed it at all. Hey, I'm going to change subjects now. I have a story here that is interesting. Trump ends the historic, this was yesterday, and this is a story out of Oregon Live, that Trump ends historic Columbia River deal with the tribes and Northwest states on endangered fish. And it says that a historic deal made 2 years ago. This was written by Alex Baumhard of Oregon Capital Chronicle. And he says, had a historic deal made 2 years ago between the U.S. government, 4 tribes, Northwest states, and environmentalists to put legal battles aside and invest in restoring endangered Columbia River fish runs is now off. President Trump yesterday signed a presidential memorandum withdrawing the federal government from the December 2023 agreement to help restore salmon, steelhead, and other native fish being decimated by federal hydroelectric dams on the Columbia River. Well, actually, the fish don't get decimated or anything. This is propaganda. They've made the turbines that the fish can pass right through. It's amazing the changes that have been made. And Trump's memorandum refers to the commitment as erroneous, misguided, and placing concerns about climate change above the nation's interest in reliable energy sources. And in my opinion, he is absolutely spot on, because we need reliable energy. I don't want to experience blackouts and brownouts. In fact, I read a headline yesterday, or it could have been Wednesday, that the governor said, you are not shutting off the power during these high heat waves, telling the utilities. Somebody, don't quote me if I said the governor. I can't imagine her doing that. But somebody had written that. And, there you are. Yes, the Army's birthday is tomorrow. 250 years. That's why they're having a big parade. And June 19th, I don't know about that. And Trump's birthday is tomorrow. I've already mentioned that. And, so I'm... So unfortunately, you can't please them all. There's been so much done for the fish that's wonderful. We have fish ladders, we have fish pass-throughs, we have fish that have resting areas, we have fish observing things. You can go and watch them and count. They do a count of the return. We keep having record returns. And, I think it's okay. That's my opinion, because I'm not for, we've done so much to protect our environment, but not for doing it at the sake of the American people. And that's just my opinion. I have opinions on lots of things. But there's a lot of people that are not going to be happy with that. That's okay. That's okay. Now, I've got 2 public service announcements. And one is, this is from the Epoch Times. I'll put a link to this article. And you should be checking your power if you have these small little power things that they're the size of a cell phone or thereabouts, and it's a little extra power that you carry around with you. So this article that I just posted, this story is from the Epic Times, and what came up today. It was actually, it's today, and more than 1.1 million China-made power banks have been recalled due to a fire risk. There have been 19 reports of fires and explosions linked to the batteries sold on Amazon, eBay, and Newegg. And so it is called China-based Anchor Innovations. Anchor, Anker, not like an anchor that you use in the water, okay? Anchor, Anker Innovations Limited has issued a recall for, like I said, over 1.1 million units of power banks sold in the United States since the lithium-ion battery can overheat, posing fire and burn hazards to consumers. And the Consumer Product Safety Commission said in a statement on June 12th, yesterday. Today is June 13th. The recall applies to Anchor PowerCore 10,000 power banks with a model number A1263. The items were sold online at the company website as well as through Amazon, eBay, and Newegg between June of 2016 and December of 2022 for roughly $27. So they have received 19 reports of fires and explosions, and including 2 reports of minor burn injuries not requiring medical attention, and 11 totaling over $60,000. Wow, that's a lot, right? What else did it burn? So if you have an Anchor brand, it's also printed. The Anchor, Anker, brand name is printed on the front of the product, and the model number Alpha 1263. Other model numbers are not part of the recall. So there you have it. Let's see. To receive a replacement, consumers will be required to submit a photo of their recall power bank showing the model number, serial number, their name, and the date of the photograph, and the word recalled written on the power bank in a permanent marker. And it says a purchase receipt will be requested. Who keeps those? But will not be required to participate in the recall. Thank goodness. Otherwise, you'd be SOL. $27, throw it away. So there is a public service announcement. And then the other one that I have is that okay, do y'all know what a VPN, a virtual private network, I think that's what that stands for. I'm not super duper techie, but I think it's a virtual private network. So a lot of people going, oh, I've got to have a private VPN, let's see, what's that one that I use? It is, what's it called? Search DuckDuckGo. Okay, so that's like one. Well, this article is from the Epic Times, and apparently, I'm going to post a link here in the comments, and it is apparently a watchdog group. The VP raises concern over VPNs with hidden ties to China. Surprise, surprise. The VPNs are available to download on Apple and Google App Stores, the Technology Transparency Project found. So this article is from today by Catabella Roberts in the Epic Times. And it says that Apple and Google app stores are still offering Americans virtual private networks, VPNs, with undisclosed ties to Chinese companies, despite serious privacy and security concerns. That user data could be shared with the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, a tech watchdog group said yesterday. The VPNs encrypt data, allowing individuals to surf the web anonymously. I use DuckDuckGo. I don't know if that's one. An April report by the Technology Transparency Project found that more than 20 of the top 100 free VPNs in the US Apple App Store in 2024 showed evidence of Chinese ownership that was not disclosed to the users. And so there we are. Let's see if I can, if this, I thought it had some of the companies. Nope. So you kind of have to go and see, be a little smart about it. And the same national security laws have fueled fears about the video platform TikTok. So, be careful. And I, like I said, I don't know if DuckDuckGo is with that. I have no idea. But that's the public service announcements for tonight's episode. I kind of like doing a little public service announcement. And, I wish everybody to have a great weekend and be safe, have fun, get outside, unplug. And there's a lot going on, but be safe. There have been during Biden's administration, many, many millions of people have come into this country without permission, and they have bad deeds on their mind. I was reading tonight. I don't know that it's all true, but I suspect it certainly is, could be, that there's going to be sleeper cells around. And could Iran be doing something here in the United States? We don't know. So I'm just going to say to please have some situational awareness and be careful. Pay attention to who's around you and have fun this weekend. Everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me. Please like and share, and I'll be back next week, and Kevin will be back on Monday. Have a super duper weekend. Good night.